Second time's the charm. Taking a look at Atari Flashback Classics for the Nintendo Switch in this impromptu Emceemur show live stream. Volume 1, no. Volume 2, no. All 3 volumes on the Nintendo Switch for the low introductory price of only $39.99, which means that for $39.99 you are getting 3 for the price of 2, as these volumes were $20 a piece on the Xbox One and PS4. Which is fine. I mean, I'd pay $60 for all of it. But you're paying $40 for all of it here to get it all on the Nintendo Switch now, and to have it portable with the online leaderboards, all the fantastic additions that you are getting through the 3rd volume, included but not limited to Atari 5200 versions of some fantastic Atari classics. So we're just really excited about that. Ice Pirate has joined us. Yes, part 2. Let's just look at it again. Let's just do it all over again. Had some issues with the chat there earlier that we had to fix, and I think we've got a fix in place, so things look good. And contrary to popular belief, live streaming is not as easy as it looks. And really, you know, what's the worst that's going to happen to me? I got to play more Atari, and you got to watch it. Whoa! Come on, let's do a little better this time. Asteroids blowing up. Really love these classic games. Back when points actually mattered. Back when it mattered to you how many points you scored. Back when that actually meant some bragging rights. There were no speed runs because games didn't end in most cases. Unless you were like some phenomenal player that could break the machine. But yeah, this is fantastic. Published by AtGames, but you know what else they did? They broke the Guinness Book record on release dates for a single game, because this game has had 5 separate release dates. And I don't really know why that is, but initially this was slated for November 6th, I read. I've had it pre-ordered since I knew about it. Then it was slated for November 27th, I think it was. End of November, whatever day it was. I remember showing up at GameStop. They did not have it, nor did they know anything about it. And I had pre-ordered it on their website to the store. Then it was pushed out to December 7th. Didn't show up December 7th either. Now it says December 18th. So fine, we'll look at it on December 18th. But no, I see a random tweet on Twitter from someone just retweeting something from Atari, which this is published by AtGames. Obviously these are, you know, Atari games, but that, you know, hey, this is available on Switch now. And I'm like, no, it's not. But I said, but that must mean that it is digitally. I double checked GameStop. They still didn't have the order. Still says the 18th. My people up there, they don't have it. Oh, dadgummit. I'm dead. But, yeah. It came out on the 13th. Now, the problem with that is this. I like to bring you these games day one. This is not day one. So that's disappointing to me. A missed opportunity, as it were. But we're bringing it to you nonetheless, because if you watch this show for your Atari fix, this is something you're going to want to see. And if you have a Nintendo Switch, this is something you're going to want to pick up for the sake of having it portable. Everybody says the P word. That's almost a dirty word now. Portable, it's portable, it's portable. People are getting tired of that excuse for Switch ports and whatnot, but this isn't really a port. This is a way to get 2 for 3 on a great Atari setup. 150 frickin' games, online leaderboards, and these are the kind of things you wouldn't mind having portable. You can take them with you. They're arcade games. That's fantastic. Portable arcade stuff is all the rage right now, but this is the real deal Holyfield for your Nintendo Switch for a fraction of the cost of buying all 3 volumes separately on PS4 or Xbox One. far as I know, there is no full collection for those, just the 3 separate volumes. Still, it's only going to run you $60 total on those if you buy each one $20 a piece, and some of you might feel that it's better to have the option to buy them separately if some of them don't contain ones you necessarily gravitate to or care about. But, yeah. I think all in all, you're going to want them all. Jeff Bailey says, how's the portable play? I haven't actually played it undocked yet, but being as these are just Atari games, and, you know, they are what they are, I can't imagine it's going to look bad. It won't be like trying to wonder if Doom is going to run at, you know, 60 frames per second or anything. It's going to be neat to have. And, you know, we had the issue on vacation here recently where Disney had yanked the arcades out of the resorts, and it's like, man, we wanted to go down there and play some Pac-Man and some Galaga, and the arcades were shut down. So I was glad that I had the Switch and my Namco arcade pack. That did great portably, by the way. If you haven't picked up the Namco arcade pack, some great games on that collection. Did a live stream on that when it came out right here on the show. But yeah, $40 for 150 games is not bad. It's not going to take up a lot of data on that, you know, in that it's not even going to take up a gig. They're Atari games. Yeah, there's just, there's no reason not to pick this up. And even people that don't have a history with Atari should pick this up. Great way to get acquainted with some of these. And, you know, with the addition of the 5200 software on here, man, do people need to get more acquainted with those classic versions of Atari games. Games that I remember a lot because I happened to have a neighbor that had one. We spent so much time on it. But dadgum, good stuff. Yeah, absolutely. If you're new to the Emceemur show, make sure that you subscribe and stick around. My God, we have so much fun checking out new stuff when it comes out. But in this case, checking out new old stuff. And of course, we check out old stuff too. We are joined by Jim. We're back. Intrigue Gaming has joined us. Welcome, IG. You know, we had the chat issue with the first one, and, you know, might as well take another look at this. I know, for one, Jim is not going to be upset if we play some more Atari, because that's just the kind of guy Jim is. All right, start the game already. Let's go. The first and second volume of this series came out at the same time for the other consoles, and that's been a while. That's been over a year. So, I mean, Nintendo Switch is always late to the party on things, but in this case, this was something I totally didn't mind buying again. But it was so weird the way it worked. Again, this was just, it was not marketed correctly in my opinion. You know, I saw the Switch version come out and I assumed it was both volumes 1 and 2 for $40. But it said 150 games, not 100. So I was like, okay, so Switch is legit getting more games on their one collection than the other consoles had in 2. So I gotta buy this again. I was interested in it to be portable anyway. But, yeah, 150 games? That meant that there had to be, you know, a little bit more for the money. And then lo and behold, a third volume separately gets released for the Xbox One and the PS4. Not a breath muttered about that anywhere that I saw. Social media or just anywhere. So that came in under the wire. We didn't get to look at that day one either, just because we didn't know it existed. AtGames made sure that we were able to review the Xbox One version digitally, and big thanks to them for that. And then I picked up a PS4 copy that my local GameStop was able to get in for me after launch. So I got it on both of those now, and then now we're just waiting on physical editions for the Switch to come out, which ironically I guess I no longer need because I picked it up digitally to make sure I could bring it to you in a timely fashion. Game Beaters is here. Welcome, Game Beaters. Yeah, we're playing Black Widow, but it is kind of reminiscent of Tempest, and we're going around in a big circle here with vector-looking graphics and shooting things. But, lost my train of thought there. Damn it! My spider! My spider's dead. But yeah, you know that I like to bring you these things day one, and that just didn't work out in this case. And you know, it sounds like I'm griping. I'm really trying not to here. I'm just trying to say that I want these things to succeed. I want people to be a part of them when they come out. And, you know, marketing is key. I mean, I keep my finger right on the pulse of this stuff. If I don't know about it, then how many other people did, to be honest with you? And then the digital comes out and there's not a word about that. Could you imagine having that cabinet? I'm sorry I'm all over the place in my thinking here. Look at that artwork on that cabinet. Could you imagine having that beautiful thing in your house? That's a new bucket list item. My wife needs to buy me one of those for Christmas. Crystal Castles. What an amazing cabinet. What an amazing game. What an amazing character Bentley Bear is. My wife also needs to crochet me a Bentley Bear for me to cuddle at night. Yeet! But yeah, I don't understand why the game was so hard to come by. Or why, you know, the GameStops didn't get them either. GameStop's the only retailer carrying this game, or the third volume. You know, for the other consoles, that was not the case with the first two volumes when they were sold. You could get them anywhere, and nobody pre-ordered them, so the stores didn't actually get them. And again, that's a strange distribution issue there, because you would think they would just get them. You expect that from Best Buy, but not from GameStop. Often Best Buy does not get games that are maybe niche titles or whatever unless you pre-order them. They only have AAA stuff on the shelf in most cases. You can bet that if you don't pre-order certain NIS titles, or, you know, you may not get the game on day one. And that's why, you know, we talked about this on the Captain Retro podcast. I see Captain's back in here. We talked about this on the Captain Retro podcast a long time ago. The whole anti-pre-order culture. So you're not hurting anybody but yourself there. If you don't pre-order it, you may not get it. And in some cases, you might pre-order it and still not get it. What we're running into here. So it's like, you know, don't play that game. Oh, I'll show GameStop. I just won't pre-order the game. Well, then it ain't going to be there. Because even in this rare instance, they didn't get the game, man. So it's like, holy poop. Alright, we got to get Berthilda out of there. Get the hat. Get Berthilda. Come on, elevator. Some high-paced Bentley Bear action right here. But, you know, we've done a lot of coverage of AtGames products here lately, and contrary to what everybody on the internet is saying, despite what issues there may have been with some of it, there's a lot of fun to be had there, and we've been having it, and I've been really blessed to have everybody along for that ride, and it's been a lot of fun. And again, they're behind the distribution, from what I understand, on these games, and their name's definitely on it, so I can appreciate very much this third volume, and in this case, a full collection for Nintendo Switch. We've got the 5,200 games on here, which is beyond amazing, and some bees just ate me up. And Tree Gaming saying, what's an Atari game you can play over and over that you just love for whatever reason? Well, this one, definitely. Recently acquired Tutankhamun on the Atari Flashback 9, which I actually do not have a physical copy of that. Hadn't played that game in ages and decades. Tutankhamun is a game that really does exploration and adventure right. Yeah, and Jim says Space Invaders. Never going to have beef playing some Space Invaders, but I was really missing playing my Countermeasure. And God, I sucked at that earlier. Let's try to do better this time. And the ROM on this has an issue. Now, it's the only one I've seen that does have one. Now, for some reason, it started right up this time, but before it was starting up in a locked position, and my tank was going all the way to the right, and I couldn't control it. Of course, if the one game is going to have an issue is the one I've been dying to play for 30 years. But this is such a great game, man. This game is so great. You destroy the gun turrets, you go to these canisters, which in turn hook you up with the fuel and part of the failsafe code. And you need the failsafe code to disarm the missile before it launches and blows up the frickin' Earth. And when it blows up the Earth, what you see is a frightening skull and crossbones, which for this time was pretty amazing graphics. And I remember as a 7-year-old just being afraid of that skull. I would see it in my eyes, you know, in my mind at night, and it was just like scary. Your weapon doesn't shoot harder than mine. Come on, give me some range, man. Encounter at L5, I got a physical copy of that not too long ago. See, there's the missile right there. And I didn't mean to touch it. Can't get too close to it, because then you got to input the code. And right now, the only thing we have to go on is that the O is in the middle. So, no, that's not what I did. ZR? God, I can't ever get these right. Well, the world is doomed. That's intense. Now look at the skull and crossbones. That's wicked looking. And then it did this thing with the colors glowing like that. That was pretty high tech for that time. Yeah, I would see that face, that skull in my nightmares as a little boy, and I still remember that to this day. What a great game. And even when the world blows up, I almost forgot, that's not the end of it. You just lose a life. You still gotta fight some more. And as the colors change, you know, the levels go up. I kind of fake the gun turrets out here. We got an O at the end. Setting up the cameras for the pinball stream. I'm lurking though. Man, that's going to be awesome. What a pinball machine that is. And my tank blew up. Well, dadgummit, I wasn't done yet. Now see, here's this mess again where it glitches out. My tank is locked to the side. It goes all the way to the wall. And it's stuck there. And it will be until it blows up. And I don't know why it does that. It does that on all the versions. It does that on the Xbox One and the PS4. So something's farty about this ROM. But at least I can play Countermeasure again. Jeff says 5,200 games on that is awesome. How many 5,200? There's just a handful. I mean, there's maybe 10 or so. But they're the heavy hitters that you'd want to see, including but not limited to Missile Command, Asteroids, and Star Raiders. And you know, Star Raiders was a game that I played so much of back in the day. We would turn out the lights and pretend we were really in the spaceship, you know, in the dark. Granted, we were 7 years old, but man, so cool. And since then, you know, I've played it on the original equipment, you know, again with my daughter, playing the 2600 version. And, you know, we'd get her stuffed animals in there and we'd pretend we were in the spaceship, and she really thought that was cool. Of course, Molly's older now. She's 10 and she's starting to think Daddy's not cool anymore. But we had fun back in the day with that. And it's just neat to see kids today getting out of these games what we did back then, and that graphics is only so much of a thing. You know, we can all enjoy tried and true gameplay. Perfect port. Yeah, I'm going to tell you, man, I don't understand why this one particular ROM has an issue. And I'd like to reach out to the community and find out if anybody else is having the issue. But who am I going to reach out to? I mean, who has this? I'm the only boob out there that probably has it on every freaking system. And honestly, I didn't know the 5,200 games were going to be a thing on it. You gotta time this just right and fake out the gun. And I didn't do it. Oh, I shot what I needed to. When I put this in, you know, the first time on the Xbox to get ready for the review, and I saw Countermeasure was on there, I was so mad that I did not do you know, my first play of it. It didn't do it that time. Live, because my live reaction would have looked like one of those from people's live reaction videos where they fake it to make it look like it's so over the top and they're really not that excited, but I really was. I hit the floor, and then when I got up off the floor, my jaw hit the floor, and it stayed there. I mean, who was expecting that? At first I just saw the tops of the cartridges and I was like, whoa, and I just seconds later, realizing what I was looking at, I had to change my underwear. My 9-year-old daughter loves Street Fighter 2 and kicks my butt most days. Street Fighter 2 was always my favorite in that genre. I never really enjoyed Mortal Kombat, and I still don't. I clearly need a lot of practice at Countermeasure. And you know, you've got your 2600 versions on here for what it's worth. But the big selling point here is the 5200 versions because of what rare animals they are. And I'm very grateful that my neighbor had a 5200 for me to kind of grow up around, because I had the Atari ST, so I had a pretty rare bird too. But he had the 5200 and a ColecoVision, and that's what we grinded on most days. If we weren't playing, you know, other PC stuff back then. PC, I don't even think that term was coined yet. They were computers. What an age, man, to grow up and to think that this was high tech. But yeah, you know, a lot of my favorite Atari classics that I love, I played first on the 5200, so it's weird for me to go back to the 2600. Not weird like I don't like it, but weird like it's, you know, I literally, in a lot of cases, stepped down to 2600 versions of those games, not up to 52, because I had played 5200 ones first. Like Kangaroo was a game, and that goes back to your question, what's a game you can play over and over? Kangaroo is off the hook. Played lots of Kangaroo. Played it on the 5200. 2600 is still very playable, still very cool, not as pretty to look at. Ah, that thing got away. I thought that thing was over me. Willie from Arcade USA said the bug is on every system. That's good intel, Jim. I wondered about that. See, this is what I'm talking about, man. Community. I love having you guys in the streams. I love having you guys subscribe to the channel and watching the show. I'm here to talk to folks, you know. It blows my mind. I see so many channels that don't respond to their commenters, which is like, and a lot of them aren't big either. So I understand when you get to a certain size, there's only so much you can do, but I see channels sometimes that just don't respond to people, and I don't understand that. Not even from just a professional standpoint, but in a standpoint of, why are you here? You know, I mean, don't you want to talk to people about this stuff? I'm here to network with you guys, and the stuff that, what I get from that is one of the most rewarding parts about doing this. I've learned so much. Dude, you really ought to step up the Soulja Boy line of game consoles. Yeah, you know, that's really taking everything by storm, man. Everybody's doing videos on that, and I mean, that's cool, I guess. It's certainly a wacky thing, I mean, and it makes me wonder how much he really knew about what he was doing with that. As far as the licensing, obviously he's in a little bit of poop about that, since it had Nintendo ROMs on it or whatever, but I just wonder, how much did he really know about what he was doing there? Did he really even know he was, you know, making a product that was technically not legal? I don't know. Not trying to excuse what he did. You should always be knowledgeable about what you're doing when you're going into business, but yeah, Nintendo doesn't like it if you try to sell their products out from under them. And, you know, I can't help but think that's played a part in why they want to discontinue the mini consoles. Although I know the idea is they want to push people toward the online and playing the games, you know, on there, on the Switch. But And I think by now everybody that wants one, I would hope, has had a chance to get one. They're in stores everywhere. It's not like it was. There's certainly no reason to scalp them now. But now there are hordes of people on eBay selling modded versions of them. And, you know... Yeah, I wouldn't want to do that either. I mean, if I was going to mod mine, which I'm not, only because I want to keep it kind of virgin, if you will, for lack of a better term. But I sure wouldn't be trying to sell them. All this emulation and clone crap and plug and plays, it's got a life expectancy, and it's probably not a long one. I think at some point we're all going to be very glad as gamers that we have extensive collections of the original equipment, because emulation, I mean, I think it would always be a thing, but who knows, you know? The shutdown of the ROM sites and all that went on. I mean, I don't use any of that stuff anyway, but that bothered a lot of folks, I'm sure, that they don't have access to that now. Think he thought he could make some easy drop ship money. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot in the name. There's a lot in the branding. I mean, hell, Mr. T was selling a frickin' convection oven on a frickin' infomercial one night. I bought one the minute I saw him on there. He busted through the wall. Said, "Give me some of that meat. I'll pity the fool that try to eat that." And I was like, "Give me the phone. I want two. I want two. Give me two." I did. I ordered a Mr. T oven. And you know what? It's a good oven. It has nothing to do with Mr. T. His face isn't on it. But I cook a turkey in it every year. Fixing to cook one for Christmas in it. Sucks I'm going to miss out on the NES Classic since they're not restocking after Christmas. I think you still be able to find it after Christmas, although it may drive some people to start buying them up for the purpose of flipping them again, even if they don't mod them, once it becomes, you know, there's not enough of them to get or whatever. I'll look at some more 5200 games for you, since that's what you were asking about, see how many we actually have. I didn't actually get a count. I was just blown away that that's what I was looking at. But yeah, we may see another run of people trying to flip the classic mini consoles in the eBay marketplace and all that once they're no longer being restocked. But I don't think it'll ever be as pricey, oh my god, as it was, because I think a lot of the people that wanted one already got one. Pew pew pew. Asteroids. One of the original pew pew pews. I think in a way it has brought the prices back down, the emulation. That and counterfeiting, which I frown upon seriously. A lot of changes in the marketplace on that. I made some pretty big trades with somebody to get a Conker's Bad Fur Day and a couple other games, Mario Party 3. And it was a total worthwhile trade. I had barely anything in when I traded them, so I got some pretty expensive games there. But my value in what I had gotten, which, I mean, I didn't care. I wasn't buying them to resell, but my value in what I had gotten was immediately diminished because those games started being heavily counterfeited. They're counterfeiting the ones that they can make money on, obviously. Metal Warriors, Earthbound, stuff like that. So all of a sudden, $100 games were $40 games before you could blink, and it's just kind of crap, man. And yes, the market is definitely oversaturated. But it's like at the same time, I'm kind of addicted to plug and plays right now. I'm having fun with them, having fun analyzing them, and I'm doing it in a way that's a lot less critical, I think, than a lot of people, which some would definitely argue that that's bad. But at the same time, I'm not expecting some of these things to run neck and neck with my PS4, and if you are, that's kind of silly, isn't it? I mean, again, we were talking about earlier in the last stream we were doing that, I mean, these games come from a time where we didn't bitch about frame rates and resolutions and stuff that, honestly, I mean, it matters today because we've just set bars so dadgum high, but it really doesn't matter that much. Jeff, thanks for coming by. Glad to have you on the show. Make sure you drop by next time to hit that notification bell so you know when we go live. Love having you guys in the stream. Again, it's just, we have some great conversations on here. And, you know, I learn just as much as I end up dishing out as far as information. It's just the networking that makes this so cool. I've met some really incredible folks, you know, doing the YouTube thing, and that's not going to stop anytime soon. So it's just great. Glad to have all you guys as part of Mer Nation. We're rising up. But yeah, you know, the plug and plays, they're what they are, and yeah, there's definitely some probably to avoid, mainly because they may not be worth what you get. I mean, I'm being told from people that they're seeing some of these flashback models at Dollar General that are just like composite only, they're not HD. And I don't even know what the purpose of having that on the market would be at this point in time. If it's not HD, I don't even know why you're making it, but just, you know, things that we want to get educated on going in. And that's my point behind a lot of these that I'm trying to redeem on here, that people have said things negatively about, that if you know going in what it is and you're okay with that, and you got to look at price points because they can be very realistic, you're going to have some fun. I'm telling you, there's some fun to be had there. Yeah, see, that's the thing. We never used to talk about that because it wasn't a thing. We weren't that hot to trot on the graphics. It was all gameplay. Until the 16-bit era, graphics weren't a thing because the arcade is where those were. At home, you brought the gameplay home, but that's all. It was only going to be as good as it was. Really was tempted to pick up C64 Mini today. Do it. C64 Mini is not bad at all. JLove81 is here. Welcome, JLove. Good to have you on the Emceemur show. As always, we are jamming out on Atari Flashback Classics, all 3 volumes on the Nintendo Switch. The C64 Mini was a must-buy for me, and it's going to be a secondary must-buy for me, and let me tell you why. The American release actually has different games on it than the European one, and, you know, I can't get my head around that. That's just crazy, and I don't want to have to buy it again, but I'm halfway thinking about it because the games on the first one were great, and they had the ones I was looking for, but there's some pretty cool secondary ones on the American release too. I don't know why they changed it. Might have had something to do with licensing or whatever. But on either one, you know that you're getting some Tower Toppler. You know that you're getting Temple of Apshai Trilogy, which is my jam. One of my favorite games of all freaking time. Though it's so ahead of its time. You could plug your D&D numbers right into it. It was so freaking amazing. But California Games, it's so much that it does right. It's a neat little unit, and I've enjoyed having it so far. We really need to stream some more of that. I haven't, you know. And we did an initial stream of it. Had some great times with C64 as a kid. Yeah, dude, I'm telling you right now, we wailed on our C64 back in the day. And I've still got some games for it. But I need a disk drive, and I need the joystick port worked on, and Captain is going to help me out with that because he's a lot more handy than I am. But yeah, I've got some old AD&D games, Death Knights of Kryn, stuff that, you know, what's funny is the price of the actual C64 system, you know, the computer, is nowhere near what a good disk drive runs if you end up having to buy them separately. And there's box complete games that run more than the system does because of how rare some of them are and how collectible they are, including but not limited to those Dungeons and Dragons games. Man, they are high dollar, heavily sought after, and they're so great. They're actual computer emulations, whatever you want to call it, of AD&D, legit, right out of the book, 2nd edition rules, which is the edition we play when we're really playing D&D. I started playing D&D as early as like 89, 90, and that's when the 2nd edition was published, so that's what we were playing. And I just love those old games because they were around at that time. And again, it's right off the rule sets that I'm a DM for, so man, it hits you. Get in there and create your characters off those same rules and let the computer do the DM work. I'm the DM, so I'm always doing the DM work. It's nice to have the computer do the work. I says, man, my childhood sucked. Well, mine wasn't great. I was bullied a lot because I was a nerd. Who would have known being a nerd would become the most fashionable thing you could be? Oh, I'm a nerd. I go to Spencer's in the mall and buy Zelda hats so I can say I was into Zelda. It's like, man, I got beat up for liking stuff like that. Ain't gonna praise you for it. Fear the Claw. You got achievements unlocked. Now, I'll buy a Zelda shirt or a hat too now if I see one, just because I'd like to have one. But, you know, so many people are trying to act like, oh, retro this and retro that. And that's fine, man. I ain't trying to be elitist. But, man, if you didn't grow up with this, I can tell you, it just can't do for you what it does for me. It just can't. And I hate it for anybody that didn't come up in that era. You missed out. You missed out on the golden age. And those years like 86 through 92, it's just unthinkable. The games that came out that 87 in particular was such a year. The games that came out. I mean, what were they on? How were they coming out with this stuff? Being a gamer nowadays is trendy. It is, almost in an annoying sense. Because again, something I was teased for as a kid. Now everybody wants to do it. Not everybody teased you for it, but a lot of you, if you were a nerd, you were a nerd, you know. It wasn't something that was smiled upon back then, you know. Oh, I'm a nerd. Yeah, but then you're going to get your shirt pulled over your head and you're going to get stuffed in a toilet. And that's how it's going to be. And especially the D&D thing. And yeah, Jim's going to sleep. Jim, I can't blame you. It's late, but thanks for coming by again, bud. Yeah, especially the D&D thing, man. That, you were a major dork if you played that. And, you know, that all but died out for a long time. I went 20 years without playing D&D until I finally found some old schoolers that were like, man, if we knew someone that could be a DM, we'd love to play again. I could be a DM. Next thing we knew, we were plunged back into it, and we've been in the same campaign for the last 4 years. And we're still going strong with, you know, somewhat high-level characters now. Good stuff. J-Love, I have to head out myself because I'm at work. J-Love, thank you so much for stopping by and so much for the like. Always great to have you stop by in the live stream right here on the Emceemur Show. Again, you guys are just, we have a fantastic community here, and that's a big part of what makes this so cool. The networking, the people that we meet, and just all the great things that we have to talk about. And I just got smoked. I totally forgot those were right there. This game right here, Major Havoc, man, it's got this archaic dungeon crawl thing going on. This was not a game I played back in the day. This was not anything I knew anything about. What is this? I mean, this is so neat. Oh my god, and the physics are remarkably real. But you got to think of the gravity of what it took to make something like this back then. Well, that's not going to work. Got to do it when he's coming down. And whoop! Oh, God, they just kill you with that. Well, I want to play more. This is cool. I mean, that just looks cool. Really, with what you've seen so far, you know you're buying this for 40 bucks if you have a Nintendo Switch. And if you don't have a Nintendo Switch, you're buying that for whatever current gen console you have. Oh, come on, get in there. There we go. Oh, God, get out. Oh, God, we're not going to make it. Quaid, start the reactor. 9, 8, 5, 2. We're out. I would love to pick this up. Yes, you would. Alright, so right here we want to... Oh my god, I did not time that right. I suck in ways never before thought possible. You have an overhead map on this, which is pretty cool. Whoa! Okay. Oh, we seriously got to time this. Look at him. He's just got his hand up there. He's chilling. Whoa! No! No! Oh, God. It got me right in the head. Dadgummit. Well, poop on a stick. Let's crash and Gravatar again. That didn't take long. God, it's so touchy on the thumbstick, and I gotta tell you, this is another game that I didn't play back in the day, so I just don't know how bad or good I truly am. More bad than good, definitely. You know, they had a Flashback 7800 console. And it would be streamable because it was AV. Pew, pew, pew. I need to get my hands on one of those. Oh, poop. Mur, I have to go. Got 2 videos, test podcast. Yeah, man. Do your thing. You've put in your hours tonight, sir. Always great to have you. CM Retro is back here. What's up, CM? Is we had our chat issues at the beginning of the last stream. And Team YouTube has assured me they're looking into that. So we just put the restream chat back on here and we decided to give it another go. Not a huge deal. There's always ways to work these things out. Oh, I got him too. I got him too. Death from above. Alright, so the first mission's complete. Let's go to the next mission. I have one of those 7800 consoles. I got it for $2 at a garage sale. You can have it. Now you're talking my language. I'm sitting here getting killed by spaceships thinking about the possibilities of that, CM. I'll do a trade with you. You know me. Yeah, let's work it out, man. Let me know what it you know, I don't know what it would cost you to ship that thing. As I recall, it's not very big. So yeah, no joke, man. We'll text about that later on, but let's do that, man. Let's do that. Gonna catch you later. Gonna go play. Yeah, man. Intrigue Gaming, thank you so much for being here for round 2 of this, my friend. Whoa! I got him too. Thanks, dude. I appreciate it. Yeah, man. We're having a great time with this stuff. Love having you guys involved in it too, man. It's just fantastic. But yeah, CM, you got me all excited now. We're gonna trade for a 7800 Flashback. I saw one for like it was like 15 at a flea market, and I was like, that's high. You know, that's about what they run, but then I'd have to ship it too. But I'd rather just trade you something for it. If it, you know, if it doesn't cost you more than $10 to ship it or something. I don't think it weighs that much. Oh, I forgot Astro Blast is on here. You know, I've got an extensive 7800 collection over here. And I say it's extensive because there's not many games for that system anyway. But yeah, no way to stream them. And, you know, we wonder if either AtGames or Hyperkin will make a 7800 system that we can play in HD, because obviously that would be awesome for ease of streaming. But even that one that you found at the yard sale for $2, at least it's AV, which can be upscaled to HD, and we can take a look at it right here on the show. Would love to do that. I have some old Atari literature I wanted to send you. Now you're just sweetening the deal. But you know me, I will look at the actual net value of everything and send you a surprise Myrrh crate in the mail to compensate you for your troubles. And that's always fun, because then you get to go on your show and say, oh, I got a package from Myrrh. Let's see what's in it. We could even do it that way. It could be a surprise package. A Myrrh crate. $7,800 doesn't get a lot of love. It doesn't even get as much from me as I want to give it. There's a lot of games on it I still want to try, and again, it's just one of those things where you look at the versions of those games on that versus its predecessors. It's just interesting to look at. Oh, you're sending me pictures of it now. Yep. Yeah, it's not huge. It's not huge. I mean, tops, you send it, you know, priority, and it's like maybe 12, 13 bucks to ship. I would think worst case, but you know, that's not that bad. Then you got 14 in it total, and I will do something probably worth more than that, because I'm about to do some flimming and flamming and trading in my secondary markets that I trade in. I've been so behind on, you know, it's holidays, got family stuff going on, but I got boxes and boxes and boxes of parts and stuff that are worth money that I got to take to trade with different retailers. So much to do. I'll end up getting you something that's totally worth your trade that you'll be glad to have. Oh man, and you got some Intellivision stuff too, it looks like. I'll have to look at that. I've got a pretty big rack of Intellivision stuff, and I may have all of those. I don't think I have Astro Smash though. I think we talked about that. I think I need that one. But all the ones I do have, it was just a miraculous collection, because whoever had them, they kept the boxes, the manuals, the overlays, all that stuff. So it was just really amazing. I got to get a dadgum AC adapter for my Intellivision too. It's the only thing it lacks. We already know it works because we tested it. So that's cool. I'll take a look through that. What was I looking for here? Breakout is really touchy with a thumbstick. I'd like to take a look back at all the versions of this I have, all the versions of Arkanoid, all the versions of Pong, and do a retrospective on it. Just really put something major together. Nobody would watch it, but I would have fun making it. I have so many different ways to play Pong in here. I think a lot of people have more than they think that than they even know, you know. Yeah. Perfectly placed. See how long I can keep this up. Oh, poop on a stick. poop on an ever-living bun. I'm trying to win here by not moving. Some of my favorite 2600 games was Jungle Hunt and Kaboom. Both good ones, yeah. I believe Jungle Hunt was... Well, yeah, Jungle Hunt was definitely on the Flashback consoles that we looked at. And now that Flashback 9 that you can put the ROMs on it, you know, there's over 1,000 games on that thing. So neat. Fatal Run, that's the one I want to play again. Fatal Run, programmed by Steve Aguirre. Your mission is to drive to each city, delivering the much needed medication to save the people. Then launch the rocket to save the world. To save the world! Night Racer! Race Driver! Whatever this is called. Fatal Run! Yeah! It has to be a power ballad to go with it. I see they've added some of the classics to the Nintendo Switch. The Outrun and Phantasy Star. Sega Ages, all that stuff. I want to pick up some of that. Don't need it, just want it. Hauling some butt. And I like that you don't crash. You can just get into a belly bump fight with the other cars. Moon Patrol was the bomb, dude. And Moon Patrol was one that not only was cool at home, but I played a lot of in the arcades. It was either Showbiz Pizza or a Chuck E. Cheese or one of them things that I really got my Moon Patrol in on. And there was always that one machine. It was like right by the door in this place, and it was a Moon Patrol. And I could see it in my mind so vividly to this day. But every time we went to this one Chuck E. Cheese or whatever, Showbiz Pizza, whatever the hell it was, steady on that Moon Patrol grind. That was such a fun game. Some games it wasn't even the concept so much as it was the gameplay. Going on a fatal run. Gonna be lots of fun. You know, before we conclude, I want to take one last chance to talk about what you're getting here. Again, each collection, each volume was 20 bucks. This is 40 bucks for all three on the Switch, which is fair. They could have asked 60. They didn't. They didn't. So if you have an option, you know, this is the way I think you go. If you haven't bought any of these yet, or even if you have and you just want access to these games in a portable format, I think it's a winner, man. So happy with what I am seeing here. It is getting late, but we got a chance to take a good look at this. And I appreciate everybody that dropped by in the first the test stream where we looked at it, and everybody that came by for Phase 2. So much fun checking these out. So much fun to be had. So much great Atari stuff coming out right now as far as ways to re-enjoy these classics. It's a great time to be an Atari fan. They're really doing a lot in the way of, you know, hitting us right in the nostalgia and giving us fun stuff to look at. And you know that I'm going to be looking at each and every one of those things right here on the Emceemur Show. Still have a few videos coming your way very soon concerning these very types of products, looks at these, the fun that can be had with these. Good stuff on the way. So again, I want to say thank you to everybody that stopped by tonight in both streams. everybody that stopped by in general. I hope that if you're watching this on the recap, you're going to drop a like on this video. And if you have not already done so, I hope that you're going to subscribe to the Emceemur Show. We're rising up. All the fantastic things that we have going on right here on the channel, you need to be a part of. And make sure that you hit that notification bell so you are always in the know when new content goes live. You know that I love making it for you. Emceemur signing off for now, and I will see each and every one of you again next time.